All right, it is showtime. That's what it tells me back here, backstage. It is showtime. Hey guys, the queen has arrived. Woo woo! We got Peace Squared in the house. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Appreciate you joining me here on a Thursday. Dr. Erica will be joining us shortly. She had a family walk in just a few minutes ago, and you got to take care of the people when they walk in. Thank you, Kenny. Take a bow, right? Take a bow. Yes. I love that you guys are in the front row. Thank you so much. Great to see both of you here. It is Thursday, and Thursday is time for Chiropractic is Sexy. So, each week we're going to be bringing you just different things, different ideas about how chiropractic fits into people's lives, what it can mean for your life. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions around chiropractic. So we feel it's really important that people know and understand how we are truly impacting lives. So today, what I thought I would start with is when it comes to chiropractic care, a lot of docs out there are neck and back pain doctors. Now, people come to us because they injure their neck, they injure their back. So they think of us for neck and back pain. But our goal is to really start to change the narrative and change the mindset of why people would go to a chiropractor. So, oftentimes when I go to a party, I have to stop telling people that I'm a chiropractor because, the first thing they say, what's the first thing somebody says when they find out you're a chiropractor at a party? Can you fix my neck? Can you fix my back? So people, it's like I'm a show. I'm a sideshow, Kenny's got popcorn. Yes. Keep it on the down low. As long as you don't have Miracle Whip on that popcorn. Kenny, you would probably die when I eat my popcorn. I've got my good sea salt. I do use butter. I use grass-fed butter. I put nutritional yeast, and then I use a little seaweed flakes over top. And it is, I'm just like, oh, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. So when we think about going to the chiropractor, so we think it's neck pain, it's back pain. But really, when people come here and they start to get adjusted and they start to recognize the power of getting adjusted, it's a whole different ballgame. So this brings us to when people say when you go to the chiropractor, you have to marry one, or you have to go forever. And listen, nobody's putting a gun to your head to be at the chiropractor. But what happens, and this is interesting, seaweed something. So yes, seaweed flakes, seasoned seaweed flakes on the popcorn. So good, Kenny. I know. I'm kind of, you're like 0 days old today. What do you normally say of all the new things that you learn on this channel? So I had a patient doing a testimonial last week, and I haven't posted it yet. I've got to edit it and post it, but he's actually a longtime friend of the family's. He's known my parents since long before I was born, many, many years. They go way back. So he had called me. He was having this pain in his leg. He thinks he tore a muscle. He's probably, I think he's 70s, maybe close to 80. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, yes, today years old. There you go. I knew you were going to say that. So I had him do a testimonial because after 3 weeks, he started to say, so he came in for this thing in his hip and his lower back, but he said, I can turn my head better, and I don't have this tingling in my fingers anymore. He didn't even realize he had tingling in his fingers. This is how powerful chiropractic is that people get used to how their body feels, and they're no longer in tune to how it should feel. So I did this testimonial with him. After 3 weeks, he's feeling so much better. He had no idea. There's Dr. Erica. I sent you the link. I emailed you the link. Go grab the link and jump in. So he had no idea how chiropractic was going to affect him, if it could help him, but he had nowhere else to turn. He did not know what to do. So he does this testimonial for me, and he says in his testimonial, he says, people say, Kenny, probably one of my favorite Christmas songs, Christmas shows, put one foot in front of the other. Here she is. So he's doing his testimonial and he says, so I'm talking about when people think of chiropractic care as neck and back pain. And I'm telling the story. And Erica, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. So he was giving me the testimonial and he says, well, people have told me that once you go to a chiropractor, you never go. And he said, but Dr. Paula has me fixed and it's almost fixed and it's been only 3 weeks. And he says, I guess those other chiropractors just aren't very good chiropractors. I'm debating about leaving it in there. I think I'd like to leave this in his testimonial video. Like I said, I hadn't edited it and put it out yet. But I said to him also in the video, I said, well, George, I said, we haven't talked about wellness care. And what typically happens is people like you recognize that they actually start to feel so much better. And then they go back to life. And life is that thing that wrecks us. And so they recognize that if they don't continue to go, then they continue to go into that wrecked state. You will backslide each and every time. And so he just kind of looked at me like, I don't necessarily know if he was not necessarily prepared to hear that, but I don't think he was actually expecting to hear that story. So just talking about how, the myths of when people say they think of us for neck and back pain, Erica, and then when they do come, getting them over to wellness care, getting them to getting their attention to say chiropractic is far more than just getting you out of pain.
Right.
So that was this testimonial that I did that I need to get posted. But have you had people like that in your practice?
Yeah, of course. So, hi, everybody. Thanks for the patience. I had people walking in right when I'm trying to get out and they're like, oh, this is a good time to come in. And I was like, actually, 12:30 is better. Like your parking lot's empty. I'm like, because we're going to lunch.
Yeah.
So love you all. We use the analogy a lot of using chiropractic for pain only as like using your iPhone for text message service only. Like that is only just the tip of the iceberg. And that symptoms are the last to come and the first to go away. So, every time we wait till symptoms, then we're actually downsliding, we're backsliding, we're not adapting to life. And so the other part that we talk about too is that when by the time you're to pain, it's as if you took a rubber band and you wrapped it around 5 times around your finger till that sucker is like not even functioning right. Well, in the very beginning of care, it's about unwrapping these loops, but symptoms go away after, 2 or 3 unwraps, but we still have like multiple layers to still go. So, but people choose different kinds of ways to participate. And I love the ones that really start to get it. And they're like, oh, this is like going to the gym, or, oh, this is like the other things that I do for my health and my longevity. This is along with that. It's like, yes, which is this family that comes in and they're a little bit of an older couple. They have a brand new baby and they really get it. So it's like, I want you guys to get here just a few minutes early. And I love you and I get it. And you're my ideal people. So yeah, it's those. Not everybody uses chiropractic forever, but those that do, they just will never turn back around. I mean, one of my chiropractors came in this morning and she's like, I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow and I find myself, I'm just so wound up. And she said, I just wanted to get in. I can't get my head on straight and all this stress is moving right through my system. And she's like, absolutely. There's, we just have to, we're not adapting. We're under so much stress and holidays ahead of us are a big part of that too. So,
and we know stress is so damaging. And to your point about pain, one of the things that we really, really need to get people to recognize is that there are only 10% of the nerves in your body that detect pain. Mm-hmm. Because right now you do not feel your body balancing the blood sugar. You don't feel your gut digesting food. Mm-hmm. You don't feel the brain signals going mm-hmm. back and forth. You feel very little when you think about it.
Right.
And for those nerves, like this is how people say, oh, you have stage 4, whatever cancer, because usually like, let's say the liver, there's no pain sensors in the liver. And so now suddenly you have stage 4 liver cancer. Well, you started to have symptoms of liver cancer, meaning that the body wasn't regulating properly. You don't
Right.
feel well, and you're becoming highly toxic, and that affects everything. And then you go in, and they're like, "Yeah, you have this thing."
Mhm.
So our goal really is to get people to want to take care of their health from a wellness
Mhm.
perspective. When I was pregnant, I went, I got adjusted. I was getting acupuncture. I was meditating. I was taking daily baths. I was doing hypnosis therapy for the birthing process. I was doing all of these wellness things. And my doctor, who was my acupuncturist at the time, and he would do cranial work on me. And he was like, God, I wish I had a practice full of patients just like you who just are coming for wellness care. And I'm like, yeah, I want to have the most healthy birth possible. And what was super interesting, and just how the body works, is I remember going into him at one point and I said, man, I had to have a liverwurst sandwich, or liverwurst, because I don't eat sandwiches, but I had to have liverwurst with real mayonnaise, Kenny, not Miracle Whip. I was eating liverwurst with real mayonnaise every day. I was eating like tons of it. And he goes, let me go check something. And he went and he checked his book on embryology and gestation, and that was in the time frame that the baby's liver is developing.
Right.
I was like gorging myself on liver. So your body is incredibly intelligent, and it gets us to do these things that are more like intuitive and innate. And
Well,
so,
if we're listening, right? So I think
yeah,
it's so critical to be able to listen to those signals. Like, what are the cravings about? Are they because, like you said, you're developing a liver, you're growing a liver inside of your own body? Or is it dopamine hits that we need? Like some other part of our life isn't being fulfilled. So, maybe we go towards comfort food or something. Like the body's always giving us the greatest signals. And so awesome that those that really start to get tapped in, our body is never making a mistake. It's always telling us, but we have to have time to listen, and we have to do the things that help our body be supported properly. So, yeah. And
and that's a great point, Erica, about if you like paying attention to if you're getting driven towards hyperpalatable processed foods. Stop
right,
and ask yourself what's going on. And
right,
I get that too, where there's times when I'll go, I'm craving sugar, which isn't often for me, but when I am, that's why. Like, I'm not a sugar craver. So there's times when I'm like, holy moly, what's going on? And maybe because I eat pretty clean for the most part. So I listen to that and I'm like, oh, I think my body actually needs some different types of carbohydrates.
right.
But I'm not going to go for like a candy bar or anything like that. What I might do is like a nice piece of high quality dark chocolate, something that will satisfy the craving without breaking my nutritional bank. But
Right.
yeah, I think it's so important that we listen to our intuition, and too many of us are tuned out of it. And I think, Erica, right before you came on, when I was telling the testimonial story about George, so he's like in his 70s and never been to the chiropractor, came in for his lower back, hip, and some leg pain, but started telling me that he started getting feeling back in his hands, but he didn't know he lost feeling. So
Mhm.
this is where I started today's chiropractic is sexy, is that we're numb to our
Of
bodies.
course we are.
We're numb to it, and we just
Well,
get used
it's
to it, right?
Well, yeah, and part of one of the principles of the body is the fact that, it gives us signals, and then if we ignore them for long enough, the body's like, then fine. I'm just going to numb out in this area and then just wait for you to get more and more symptoms. So a lot of people will come in with pain, but then also they're like, now I can start to feel this other part of my body again. Now I can start, because your body's given a chance to the adjustment through moving the spine and allowing the nervous system to be freed up, is that it's giving it an opportunity to get things back online safely. And so we don't have to numb out with so many different things and feelings and products and whatever. I mean, we've talked extensively already, and we've only had just a few episodes of like, it's perfectly okay and legal to go out and just jump, grab some drugs in the drugstore, the grocery store even, and just, all those signals the body's trying to give to us, just kind of put them off side. Well, you're going to have to deal with them eventually. You're going to have to deal with all of life eventually. So I think it's so awesome. And one of the things that I really kind of stick with is like, okay, this is coming up today. Let me not put this on the back burner. Let's just take this right down the center, whatever this is for me, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, who knows, right? But otherwise it's going to be put on the back burner to be addressed at a later time. And a lot of adjustments go into the system and help rework some of that stored tension that you weren't able to deal with in the first place, and ultimately has created some sort of symptom which brings people in. And then they're like, oh, and by the way, I'm sleeping better. And by the way, I'm not even experienced, my whole family got sick and I didn't even get sick. And it's like, well, let's get your whole family in too, right? But it's all of those things. Everyone at work got sick, but I didn't get sick. And you start to build your savings account, your internal resilience by doing all the good things for yourself, not perfect. And, as we slide into the holiday season, it's difficult to keep everything 100% online. But one of the greatest things that you had said earlier this week was like, hey, why don't you get yourself into a little bit of a healthy caloric deficit, a little bit of like, let's prep for that big crazy meal coming up and not totally bombard our health. Okay, so we have a week from today. What can we do in the next week? Can we get in the sauna? Can we cold plunge? Can we make sure we're getting out for fresh air? Like you took, Bentley for a walk yesterday and I was having to work. That was your day off. And it was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that, but I can't do it right now. Let me do that after work. Get your fresh air, drink your water, decrease some of the inflammation now, because it's going to be Thursday and then Friday. And then through the weekend, we're going to have just celebrations starting and rolling us right through the next month. So I loved that idea of like over prepare for the next week for the bombardment and assault on our system. Because when you're together with family, good, bad, or ugly, and you just want to have a cocktail and a little holiday cheer, like this is the appropriate time to do it. But don't have 17 between now and then. Like really really scale way back for 7 days. That is going to set you up for not totally tanking your body. And then getting adjusted. So we're here this afternoon and then all day Monday and then Wednesday morning, and then we're done. And I put a message out today, the practice, and it's like, in order to do this the best way possible, plan today, Monday or Wednesday, and don't wait until, oh, I'll just go. No, before you go out grocery shopping or before you start cooking on Wednesday, come get your spine checked. I'm going to remind you to chug a bunch of water while you're here and then move on with your day. So anyway, I just love that. Like, let's prep. We have 7 days to prep our bodies to take on an assault in a more graceful way. How about that?
Yeah, I've said that for so many years about if you know there's something coming up, prepare for it. You might even then post prepare. I don't know
Yeah.
the word for that, but yeah.
No
But
detox at the other side,
yeah,
like
a
quickly, like
detoxiness, yeah.
get some
Mhm,
charcoal in the system,
mhm.
overdo your water, go back in a sauna, do the things, deep
Just keep,
breathing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the more it becomes habit
Yeah.
anyway. And then you start getting used to this
Yeah.
system of, oh,
That
it's
you're all of a sudden really
holiday or
freaking
yeah,
healthy.
yeah.
Yes.
And then what'll happen too is, let's say you end up, let's say you've been doing this all along. And Erica and I live all the things that we teach for you so let's say we end up going to a party and it's like, oh my gosh, and there was nothing really worthy of us eating, but we did anyway. Or, like
Right.
if you don't prepare when you're going, like usually if I go somewhere that I'm unfamiliar with, I'll prepare, meaning like I'll eat a healthy meal so I don't show up hungry.
Right.
I'll make sure I just drink a ton of water. But let's say I go and let's say it's some magnificent meal that is something I wouldn't normally eat. That means that I'm going to shore it up the following week, right?
Right.
So you have unexpected things that come along. So you're
Right.
not always going to be able to prepare, but y'all, we know Thanksgiving is 1 week away. So,
Right. I was
you know,
just thinking about that because there's a few things that you can actually add into even that meal just to help your body digest. One of them being digestive enzymes, but the other one is, how about having some like really good, even just sauerkraut, like something really helpful. My patients that do take digestive enzymes, I'm like, take more that day. So your body, we just help your body, because otherwise it's going to tank our system, and then our immune system gets sluggish, and then we roll it right into all kinds of issues. So anyway, yeah, it's my favorite holiday. I love it.
Yeah.
And I also, when I eat and sit down, it's like the whole plate is salad first, and then the rest of the stuff are sides. So think of looking at your plate a little bit different too. So
Yeah, I was saying, I forget in one of the lives I was doing last week, but I'm a stuffing girl. So, but I will have the vegetable, right? And I usually have to show up with the vegetables because if I want them, I'm the one that has to bring them. So I
right.
don't mind that. But I'll do a little bit of turkey, the vegetables. I do love some cranberry sauce and some stuffing. And that's about it. I don't do the sweet potatoes. The potatoes have to be the actual potatoes, and I'm a potato junkie. Like that is probably I've revealed to you all that like a good high quality potato chip. That's my guilty pleasure. I don't do it every day, but yeah, if I'm going to break my bank, like I know I'm spending calories on that. But anyway, so I digress. I'm like lost on potatoes right now.
You're like, who's bringing the chips?
I'm
Anyone
like,
walking in sometimes?
potato. Oh yeah, baby. But yeah, and I think too, to Erica's point is how do we prepare for all of it? Because also how often we go into the holidays, and holidays are stressful. We don't know, we do know who's going to show up. And when we know that, then we're like, oh, and their political thoughts are this, or their life thoughts are that. And you're like, you're getting anxiety before the day even comes, because you're just in angst over making sure that no disruption of anything, there's no butting of heads or of anything. So the stress that comes from the holidays is incredibly toxic and damaging to your nervous system. So we have to pay attention to that. And that's why Dr. Erica was saying, get in and get adjusted, because it helps to calm your body. We are in such a state of fight or flight that chiropractic care gets you into that rest, digest, and repair, right? Mm-hmm. And when you're stressed out, you cannot digest that big meal. So yes, the enzymes, the adjustment, allowing your body to do what it's supposed to do. Take a walk. It's not a license. Holidays are not a license to just completely drive your health into the ground. And I think we have to recognize that.
Yeah, that's so great. There was some research done that when you take a walk after a meal, that it slows the spike of blood sugar and the spike of insulin in your system. So just an easy 10-minute walk after you're doing that, instead of just sitting, helps the body to be able to not overreact chemically to whatever you're having. The other part is that more than 3/4 full feeling increases cortisol in the body in a huge, huge way. So realizing that there's going to be plenty. And if you want more, you could go out to the store the very next day. So just work to be, I don't want to say minimal about it, but work to be more balanced in the day, where it's like, yes, this is delicious. Yes, but to stuff yourself is literally like your whole system goes whole, like down, and you feel like crap, but also your body can't function properly. So Steve's Big World. I love these ladies. We love you too, Steve.
Thank you, Big Steve. Yeah. I had to showcase that one. Well, and thinking about, again, metabolically, so the things that affect the nervous system are physical stress, which are easy for people to think about. You sit too much in a day, you've had a slip, trip, or fall, you're under repetitive stress, something physical that's happening. And listen, sitting too long, that is a physical trauma. That's physical trauma. So you have to think about, even if you're just sitting in one place, that's physical trauma. That it is equal to getting in a car accident, because it takes a slow toll over time. You don't notice it as much. So it might even be worse depending.
Right.
And then we have emotional trauma. So those emotional traumas are those things like the stress of getting together with certain members of your family. Or I have some friends who have to drive to Grand Rapids 3 hours away to his in-laws, and they do it in a day. So they drive 3 hours over there, do the thing with people they hate, and then turn around. He's
Right.
stressed out for days before and then
Right.
days after. Terrible, right? So emotional stressors. And then there's the chemical stressors. And chemical stressors are, did you eat too much? But then what is the garbage in the food that you ate? And I forget which, I think it was Urban Gardeners jumped in here. I was talking about stovetop stuffing. I'm like, is the stuffing stovetop with MSG? And she was like, she goes, I have to admit, it was very funny. But yeah, so it's like, you don't know, especially if somebody else makes the meal, where that came from. If you guys come to my house and I'm making the turkey, the gravy is going to be made from the drippings, and it's going to be homemade, and it's not going to be from a can, and it's not going to have monosodium glutamate and other chemicals in it. So yeah, I mean, everything that I would make at my house, I know doesn't have chemicals. And so all those chemicals.
Yes.
I know. I love it. Listen, and I did say, I was like, I am not denying it doesn't taste amazing.
It tastes amazing.
It does taste amazing. Like there's no denying it.
Yeah. So there's one thing that I've been telling my patients for decades now. So I've been in practice for 20 years. So if you think about the day, either Wednesday or Thursday, or moving into the Christmas holiday season, a lot of times people get up and they start doing their kitchen work at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., right? This is legitimate, where you're like, you're up, you're going, and then dinner's at 4, and you don't realize that you've been on a hard surface. Usually kitchens are tile or wood or some sort of linoleum hard surface. Put your sneakers on, maybe even compression socks or some socks that help keep your circulation going. Because a lot of times by the time people sit down, they're exhausted, and what's not absorbed in the feet is going to go right up the spine. So if you're on bare feet for who knows how long that is, 8 hours-ish, it puts a lot of extra stress. So put on some really nice workout sneakers or something with some arch support and cushion. And then realize that this is going to help you go through your day easier and also get to dinner and be able to enjoy dinner. Now, the following day is out walking, usually for some out shopping. Same thing. Don't go out in your cutest boots and high heels or whatever you're going to do. No flip-flops, even if it's 60. Put on your nice walking shoes to be on hard surfaces, because you're going to be in and out of the car. You're going to be doing all this stuff. It's a really, really simple, easy physical tip that makes a really big difference by the time dinner rolls around. So put that one in your back pocket, also for any holidays going forward. So put on some really nice shoes on your feet.
Yeah, I think we might have touched on that last time too, where I was saying that that is, and y'all always hear me say, be in your bare feet as often as possible. But I do say that when I'm standing on my feet in the kitchen, I have I've got a really nice pair of Crocs that have a really good footbed in them. And I will wear those, because you start feeling the tension in your lower back, in your feet, your ankles. I mean, it translates all the way up. If you're wondering, why do I have a headache the next day after after a holiday, or after you've been on your feet cooking all day, it's probably why. Like you just need to get you do need to have something good and supportive under your feet when you're standing in the kitchen for that long. So, so I'm just getting, where's Grow Big? There we go. Hey, Joe. I don't know if that's Joe or Courtney, but hey guys, nice to have you here. So going back to, chiropractic care, there are many chiropractors out there who are just, okay, I'm going to get you out of pain. So we know that's important just for your mental bandwidth, but ultimately we want to be able to get you to fall.
Me too. We got to keep this light. That is really funny. Yes, 3 cups
That's
of
really
whipped
good.
cream. My dogs would love that as well.
So, and this was Gil's other one. And now to the whipped cream though. Okay. So here's also where I make adjustments is that I make my own whipped cream and I will eat, I mean, heavy whipping
Right.
cream,
Just keep
little pin.
whipping it. It turns
Yeah.
into
Oh my
delicious, and
God.
when you keep it
It's so
organic.
good. Yeah. And
Yes.
I have no guilt over overeating that, but I'm
So
going to guess.
one of the
And
other things that has been brought up over the years is that when you're eating nutritious food, so on your plate when you're eating, like the stuffing, you could overeat that because it's not really registering in your body as nutrition. But if you got the greens and the heavy whipping cream made with heavy fats, you will not overeat that. If you eat Cool Whip or some of the other crap that's out there, your body's like, what was that? And it's not registering as fats. It's just registering as this weird addictive chemistry instead of nutrition. So I love that because there is a way to trade this for that and start to switch it out and let the fat fuel you. And if you're doing organic heavy whipping cream instead of that, your body's gonna be like, okay, cool. The brain loves fat. The cells love fat. Our satiation is higher, but the rest of that crap, just look for some of these alternatives. And we have a whole week still. That's why I love this conversation right now.
yeah, if you went to your wherever, or let's say people are coming to your house, get yourself some heavy whipping cream. You take a stainless steel bowl, put it in the freezer for a few minutes, so get it nice and cold, and just you actually don't even really need any sugar in there. You could if you wanted to. Like I find it amazing just without it, or maybe a little bit of maple syrup, little vanilla extract, and just whip it with a little hand mixer for, I don't know, 10 minutes, something like that. And legit, you guys, if you haven't tried it, you're gonna be like, holy moly, like it is
Right.
life changing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your guests will be like, what have you done? What have you done to me here?
Huh?
Because they will never eat the other garbage. Cool Whip it's plastic, basically.
No,
It's,
it's gross.
horrible. I think about it and I'm like, and I used to eat that shit by the spoonful. Like I loved it.
Join the club.
Yeah.
And it probably really what used to be probably a little bit better product than it is now. It feels like everything out there that's being pre-made is just going down the dumpster. But just knowing that when your body's like, what was that? It's also a straight indication of that's going to be inflammatory.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of my patients over the years, they've been like, I sat down to Thanksgiving dinner and I started eating. And then these areas that you're working on my spine, they're starting to light up. Like I can literally feel my spine begin to have inflammation. And these are patients that have been under care for a long time. So they're really tapped into their body. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Everything we put in our mouth is a slow suicide or it's building health and wellness and vitality. And so, yeah, she's like, I can feel it in my spine. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
People are really finally getting that. So, and I know we're probably preaching to the choir here. I don't know all of you guys. And I know this is pulling up from Paula's health and wellness, everything that she does. So I'm sure we're preaching to the choir here.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So you guys end up bringing more people in, which also make sure you hit the thumbs up button for us. Erica, I was trying to find where you can stream simultaneously. So let me know when we're done if it sends you the link to
you know
push
what it does? It says stream this to my audience, but we're so far into it. So I'll just.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll like put the whole thing up there or not. So maybe it will. You could experiment. But yeah, and to that point too, coming back to the chiropractic piece is that when we start to work with people, just like Erica was saying about her patient, is that we want to take you from crisis care. So, oh my God, I'm in pain and I've been putting it off for months and months and months because I thought it was going to go away. This is like living in your house and there's smoke and you're like, it'll stop eventually, right? And then the fire hits and then destroys your house. So we are looking to, just what she was saying is like, when you come to the chiropractor, it takes you from this crisis care mindset, personal crisis care mindset, and it puts you more intuitive to the small changes in your body. So instead of like literally going off the rails, now it's these little tweaks that you're able to make. And what'll happen is, and I don't know if you've had this happen, Erica, but I'll have patients, they'll come in, we have great results. They'll be here for a few weeks, a few months. They disappear for a few weeks or a few months. And then they show up again. They're like, I was feeling great. I don't know what happened. And I'm like, it's life that happened. And this is why ongoing chiropractic care is so important to keep you a champion at life. And then they usually only happens once or twice that they fall out of care, and then they come back and they're like, I am never doing that again. So I will be here every 2 weeks without fail. And that's when people start to commit, because they recognize that, again, like if you want to, eat a healthy diet or lose 20 pounds. And if you lose that 20 pounds by eating healthy, and then you go back to your old habits, you're going to put your weight back on. And you're like, oh shit, what was I thinking? I shouldn't have done that. That's exactly how chiropractic care takes care of you and helping you to be more in tune so that you have better health down the road.
I also love that fire analogy where when we start to have, well, first of all, get your spine checked no matter if you have symptoms or not. So that's number one. But number two, when you do have symptoms, we should be the first line of defense, because what happens is, so if you go into medical care, urgent care, ER kind of stuff with a headache, low back pain, neck pain, or whatever symptoms you're having, digestive disturbances and all of that, they're going to fire hose whatever that is. Where we just continually help with that smoke alarm that's going off. Like, we're not bringing in and the fire truck and hosing your entire existence down. Like, we are finding what is going on. Okay, this is what's going on. Let's get your spine taken care of, but then you need to go home and start drinking more water and moving your body and these few things. But it's like, let's take a more conservative approach to managing the body and helping the body to move through the day and integrate life better in general, so that you're not having to get all the way down to pathology where medication is the only answer. It should be, and I will completely go on the record to say this, it should be chiropractic first for everything. Like, I had a little one in this morning. His mom was coming in. They drive 45 minutes to get here. His mom came in for her, but he went home from school early yesterday. And you could just tell, like, he had fevery, one cheek was red. He's pulling on one ear, but also his head was cocked and his mouth isn't developing properly. And this was his first adjustment today, but they traveled 45 minutes and we weren't expecting this little one. But I was like, that little guy, he needs to be under chiropractic care. So if you guys are here, we don't take off, she's already established with us. But we don't make people just walk in like that. But it was also like, there are so many signs and symptoms in this body, and they're the subtle ones that we can help with. So chiropractic first, truly, and then work with your nutrition, water. We have to move our bodies, and then moving down the line with all the things, healthy wellness that we already know. And we'll talk about ad nauseum on here.
Right. I know. Yeah. And that's the thing. We are looking to improve function, not just get you out of pain, because pain is so insignificant. And I don't mean to diminish anyone who is in pain, because I understand that is significant to you because it's disruptive to your life. So we want to get you past or bring you back from that place of pain where you are like, I don't want to go there again. We are taught to live with pain, right? So when you're in chronic pain and you're in the medical world, and they will say, well, you just have to live with it. And I tell my patients all the time. So people come in and like, do I have arthritis? I'm like, yes, you do. And I said, but here's the thing. I have the arthritis conversation with my patients once and only once. And I will say to them, listen, I'm going to use the word arthritis because it's the only thing that you're going to understand, because that's the languaging that people understand. You have a lot of arthritis in your neck. What that means is that you have degeneration that has been caused from physical, chemical, emotional stressors over time. It's causing damage to your spine and your discs, and it's causing neurological dysfunction to your brain, to your body, or whatever that is. Yes, you have arthritis. Now, in that world out there, the world out there will tell you there's nothing you can do about it. It's a normal part of aging. And if it's a normal part of aging, then why does this bone look like it's 37 and this bone looks like it's 97?
Right.
It is not a normal part of aging. It is a part of the damage that you put your
Right.
body through, physical, chemical, emotional stressors. So I will say, yes, it's arthritis. That's the last time we're going to use this word in this office. We're going to crumple it up on a piece of paper and throw it away. And there is something you can do about it, because when you're under chiropractic care and we create balance and we
Right.
restore homeostasis to the body and restore that balance, your body functions better.
Right.
And otherwise, you're just on a life of Tylenol, Advil, and all
Right.
that. That's going to destroy your gut.
Well, the other part with arthritis, so there's a natural law called Wolff's Law, which means that when there's extra stresses, so let's just take two vertebrae on top of one another. When there's extra stresses in that joint, the body lays down calcium to build a stronger bridge. The body is never making a mistake. Put that in your entire existence. The body's not making a mistake. So it lays down calcium inside of that joint spaces, or any joint in the body. When there's additional calcium there, it has the propensity of increasing inflammation there too. And that's arthritis. That's all it is. Your body had to build a stronger bridge because you made a mess there. You made a
Yes.
mess.
Yeah.
So it's got to build a stronger bridge and put in extra supports there so that it's protecting itself. And so when your body starts moving in that area again, can we say arthritis is reabsorbed? No, but your body, Wolff's Law is also, when there's less stress, it will stop doing that. That's why, like osteoporosis, osteopenia, put more stress on the bones, it's going to lay down more calcium because there's more stress there and it's needed. Supply and demand constantly. And so, yeah, we all will have extra calcium and arthritis in our joints. Hands down, 100%. Maybe for Jack LaLanne, I don't know what that guy's done with his juicing and all the things. I mean, I don't know, but we have to be like so exceptional to not be stressing our body in some way, shape, or form. But even just the fact that kids fall 3,000 times by the age of 2 is very significant. Right there, coming through the birth canal up to that point is a lot of these misalignments start. Then moving through sports, then sitting long hours for school and then for work and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, just know the body's working off that natural Wolff's Law, and that is what lays the calcium into the joints. And we can begin to reverse and increase the joint mobility, and then your body starts to fucking heal itself.
It's amazing, isn't
I
it?
said the F word. Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and I know I want to be respectful of Dr. Erica's time here, but I'll make this comment as well, is that when I see somebody who has a significant amount of damage or arthritis, again, I hate the word, because of what that implies. So just understand that in the chiropractic world, yes, we can do something about it. And we are doing something about arthritis every single day. How many people will say, well, I have arthritis, you can't do anything for that, can you? It's because you've been conditioned to think that there's nothing you can do about it.
That you need Celebrex or whatever the latest arthritis.
Terrible. Yeah.
It is.
So when we work with these people and we see a lot of damage, I will usually say to them, I'm never going to make it look pretty again, because it took 60 years for it to get like this, right? If they're 60 or whatever, however old they are, right? It's never going to look pretty again. But if I can see that I'm starting to change the shape of the spine, and then we're going to change function. So our biggest focus is on function. So not pain, but function. And I don't care that it looks like complete garbage. Your spine could look like a train wreck. Let's start to get those curves back in alignment. Right. And I do motion study x-rays. So I have you bend forward and backwards or side to side. So I can see the segmental movement and improvement that we've made after about 6 months. It's really, really miraculous.
Yeah, that's so great. As I'm sitting here, I was just thinking about this. I was listening to somebody, and one of my mentors, maybe like 2 weeks ago or a month ago. This is just a simple detox tea. So just hot water with a little light liver detox tea. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, you might think I'm drinking coffee, which I'm going to go get a coffee, but to have light like a liver detox tea just to help on the daily, something super duper light just to sort of assist the body. Is that what you got? What is that? Coffee?
This
Oh,
is
your
my
shake. Liver.
liver. Yeah,
Yeah.
liver.
Clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? We both
I
come to
know.
the video with our
Liver
liver.
detox
Yeah, and this
always.
has collagen in it, and
And this is
it's got the
constant.
medicinal
This
mushrooms.
is this is constant. Like this is a
Mhm.
constant existence in my life. It's super simple, light detox tea, liver detox tea, something like that to help your body keep doing what it's doing really well. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so we're gonna come back. We'll be here for Thanksgiving, aren't we?
Yes. Yes. I think we're gonna do a pre-recorded episode. I know it won't be as fun connecting with you guys, but we didn't want to leave you hanging for Thanksgiving. So we're going to pre-record something, and our big message for Thanksgiving is we're going to talk about gratitude
Yeah.
and how healing gratitude is for everybody, and how important it is for your life, regardless if you wherever you are in your health journey. Everything starts with gratitude. So we're going to talk a lot about that, and
I
you'll
think
see us
this
on Thanksgiving.
Yes, the one great thing on Thanksgiving is that if you need an escape from the situation you're in, you'd be like, I gotta go. I have these experts that I talk to every Thursday, and I gotta go. So we can be your excuse too. If you just need a
Yes,
little
for
break.
sure. Yes, yes. I use a Vitamix. It's the best $500
Yes.
investment you will ever make. Um, I had my first Vitamix for 20 years,
Mhm.
and
It was one of my first biggest purchases when I got out of school, and
Mhm.
I happened to be at Nordstrom, and there was one actually on a clearance rack. It was brand new. I called my mom right away, and she's like, I said, "Oh my God, there's a Vitamix here," and she's like, "What are you talking about now? Just trust me, Mom. Just trust me.
Yeah.
This is amazing."
Well, and the one that died, it didn't even die. The motor's still fine. I just need a new carafe for
Yeah.
it because the carafe piece underneath that broke. And but a carafe is $150, and I was like, "Oh, I might as well get a new one." Did I need a new one? No, but I wanted a new one. So actually, I think I'm gonna get a new carafe and then bring it here at the office because I just have a cheap Oster back there in the kitchen here. So yeah, the ninjas work pretty good. People like their ninjas.
I
Yeah,
like mine
smaller
too.
things. Yep.
Yeah,
And
I like
yeah,
it for, the container's ready to rock and roll pretty much for the most
hmm
part. So,
yeah, for
okay,
sure.
I gotta wrap up.
Erica's got to run. I'll finish up your questions here. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We'll kind of see you next week, but wishing you
That's
all the best. All right,
Yeah.
Erica. Talk to you soon.
Okay,
See ya.
bye.
Bye. Yeah. So I think the Vitamix is amazing. I had a friend of mine um, you get a Vitamix and all it had was an on-off switch, and I was like, what? Like the beauty of the Vitamix is that it has the variable speed on it, and the new one that I got has you can connect it to your phone, which I haven't done yet. I've only had it for 3 months. You think I'd get on that? I think that would be amazing, and I want to know how you do that. Are you just going to go buy one, and then what's the incentive? I need to get with you, Joe, about your giveaways because I think there's plenty of room on my channel to start doing some giveaways. So I know it was actually only 47 minutes. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yes, I know Kenny. And so Kenny, I had to say, so Paula wanted us to get on Kenny because Kenny was, what did you say back here, Kenny? Was something about, I see I missed all of these. Yes, I have several videos on my page with regards to posture. And yes, so looking at your phone and computer, that is text neck. And it also, again, it compresses all the nerves in the spine, which is connected to your life force, which is your brain. So, I mean, think about this, you guys, is when there's damage in the nervous system. So Christopher Reeve, I always use him as an example. He fractured his C2 vertebrae, which made him a paraplegic, and he couldn't, he was in a wheelchair the rest of his life on a respirator. So that's how powerful your nervous system is. So just think if you had any kind of slip, trip, fall, whiplash of any sort, and it jostled that around, do you think that things in your body aren't going to quite function the way they should? And the answer is yes. So I'm finding my way back to Kenny's comment. Oh, here we go. That's it. Where Paula said, preach to Kenny. Yes. Okay. So Kenny, aren't you a funny, funny human? Yes. Well, the issues, you could avoid the Thanksgiving issues with family that you don't want to be with. But now you're going to get all the monosodium glutamate in the Chinese food. And really, listen, Chinese food has been notoriously demonized for MSG, which is toxic. It's neurotoxic, basically. But MSG is used in so many foods, so many processed foods. So you really want to avoid any foods that have it. And it has so many different names. So I think that actually might be a good Sunday live, is to go through MSG and all of its names. So you guys can maybe go to your cabinets and pull out your salad dressings, your packets of taco seasoning, anything that has a label on it, and let's read them. Let's get on there and let's see what you guys got. So yes. And I think Grow Big said something here, and then I'm probably going to jump off. Where'd you go, Grow Big? Here we go. Talk about it on Sunday. Perfect. That sounds amazing. So, all right. So the next things next. So I'm going to be, yes. Okay. Perfect. That's done. We got our topic for Sunday. And so on Sunday, good for 5-minute segment tonight or somewhere. No, my daughter is in town. She came home from school, so we're going to go to dinner. However, would you like me to send you a video? I thought, because you're doing garlic, so make sure you go to Grow Big TV and subscribe there. That's a new channel with Joe from Garden State Gardener and Courtney from Wide Family Farm. So go there. I'm going to be on which show am I on now? I'm going to be on with Gil on Saturday night at 8, and I'm going to be on Garden State Gardener Sunday at 7, right after my live. But tonight, Grow Big, they're doing a live on, I think it's garlic. And so I thought I could just send you a brief video on the health benefits of garlic, what to look for, how to use it. Can you cook with garlic and still get the same benefits? And so, yeah, so I could easily just give you a pre-recorded video for tonight. I would love to do that. And I'm so grateful for you for asking and bringing me into the fold. That really, really, just as far as like spreading the message of health and wellness, really means so much. So thank you for helping me get that message out there. And all right, you guys, I will send that over a little bit later, Joe. Thank you for that reminder. I'll email it to you. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to head out. I got about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm finishing my Christmas decorating here at the office, and I got a busy afternoon, and then I get to have dinner with my baby girl. So, all right. Love you guys. Thanks so much for jumping on here, and we will see you very soon. Saturday at Kim Panton Family Compound, 8 p.m. Sunday on my channel for Sunday Live, where we talk about MSG, and then at 7 p.m. Garden State Gardener. And we are interviewing Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. And if you don't know who he is, just go Google him, because it is going to be really freaking exciting. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much. Yes, Idaho Garden Girl, Metagenics does ship by UPS. So shoot me an email if you have a question or if you need my help on any of that. Okay. Yes, I'm decorating before Thanksgiving because it's 65 degrees. Yeah. So that's why. And I'm going out of town for Thanksgiving. So there's that. All right, you guys. Love you all. Thank you again. Happy Thursday. Talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for being here.